Hey, bud, need a wellness check?
What are we doing here?
That's a good question. What are we doing here?
Well, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
Um,
We're so excited you're here.
this podcast has been a dream of Maddie's for a very long time and a dream of mine for a recent amount of time, but I'm very excited still.
I have been like trying to get Teresa to do a podcast with me for like she said, like 2 years, and only recently got her on the bandwagon. So this is like a pretty big day for me. I'm pretty pumped. How are you feeling?
Good. It only took a 6 hour, well, really 12 hour road trip by myself to convince myself to do this. So I'm very excited though.
And just think that like we get to go on a big road trip together this summer, like with two people. So it won't be as boring.
There's going to be some really special content coming up this summer.
Yeah, we've got like 3 weeks straight planned together. So we're pretty pumped.
I'm glad we're starting this now. I also feel like it's very fitting that we're starting this in May because May is a very special month for
May
us.
is a very special month for us. I think if our podcast was not called Wellness Check, alternate title, subtitle, maybe some may say would be May is coming up.
And where did this kind of talk a little bit about where did this idea of May is coming up come from?
Well, I think that's actually kind of fitting that it's like called Wellness Check and we're talking about our wellness in all different dimensions, which we'll get into because May is coming up came from a time when Teresa was in a pretty dark place, maybe some may say mentally, where she was living far away from friends and family and was really just like struggling. And we got on a call with our other friend Meg, who will definitely be a guest here soon.
Yes.
Um, and we were really just trying to make Teresa feel better. And Meg said, "Well, Teresa, May is coming up." It was, in fact, September when we had this conversation. And now I think every time one of us is struggling or having a hard time, um, we just say, like, well, May is coming up. And May is here. Well, May is almost over. We have like 2 more days of May.
May is on, like, we're really squeezing this in at the end of May, which unfortunately now for me, my school year ends in June. So
Yeah, so mine ends in May, and I think at the time that conversation had, all three of our school years ended in May. Where now you and Meg's school year ends in June, and I'm the only May gal.
you're the only May gal, but I feel like it will always be May. Like it has to be
It
May is
has to be
coming up.
May coming up, yeah.
It was iconic. And really my so next week is my last week of school. And it's just finals week. So really my school year ends in
You're
May.
you're here. And I think also at the time, like May was coming up, like not only because we were teachers, but we were also grad students. And like May meant like we were actually not even that we were done with grad school work because we went straight through the summer, but there was like a light at the end of the tunnel because we were going to see each other in May too.
So exciting. I know we did see each other every May from the time we started the program to the time that we fake graduated and then the time that we real graduated.
Yep. So like last May was like the first time we didn't see each other, like in May.
That's kind of sad. You went to Europe though.
Oh, I did. We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, that's for another episode. But I feel like along these lines, because we have been talking a lot about teaching in these early
This
minutes.
podcast is not a teacher podcast. I think we need to preface that we are teachers, but there's many other important and exciting things about ourselves that do not relate to teaching, and we need to remind ourselves of that frequently. But we are, in fact, teachers.
Yes, and I feel like we come back to that because that's how we met was in a teaching program in a grad teaching program. We spent 2 summers together in the Midwest.
In the middle
That
of
was
nowhere, I'd like to preface.
yeah, it was like part grad school, part summer camp, part 7 week bender.
I was gonna say Bender, yeah.
Yeah.
You especially have to go with the Bender part.
Yeah, again, a future podcast maybe we'll just kind of tell the stories of our summers in pieces. I feel
Yeah,
like that will unfold.
we couldn't do it all at once. I think we'd be arrested. So
No, the episode also would be 3 hours long. Maybe that's like if we get enough traction with this, we have like a 3 hour tell all episode that's just about
and we invite all the Moogie Boogies to like come join us, like Maggie P and Tom, the whole squad.
The whole squad, these names. Yeah, I feel like since we're not gonna like say the name of it, I think we do just need to call it like the Moogie Boogies because no one knows what we're talking about when we say that.
Yeah, the Moogie Boogies. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, since we've said what this podcast is not, I know we've kind of hinted at it, but like, then what is this podcast?
I think this podcast is just like a general wellness check, like a FaceTime call with your friends, like a check-in with some buds, but in like a more formal capacity. I think adulthood is different than what I expected. It's I don't even know what I expected, but it's not this. And there's so many firsts and new things and also strange things that we go through that I'm so grateful to have a friend like Teresa to go through with. And so we call each other frequently and we call them our wellness checks. And we think we're pretty funny. I think we have
I think
some good
we're
laughs.
hilarious.
Yeah. So hopefully other people think we are too, but like that's to be determined. But we think we're hilarious. And we think like I would have loved to listen to a podcast about like two gals in their 20s trying to figure out life that aren't influencers and aren't perfect and don't have a ton of money to, you know, do all the things they want to do. So hoping we're relatable too. But I think the emphasis is on our wellness, which we have multiple ways of wellness that we're going to check in on. If you want to describe those, Teresa.
I will. I also feel like we are uniquely suited as two 20-something girls that obviously this I don't even want to call it advice. Our stories that we tell are for everyone, but I feel like you and I, as we will unpack, are uniquely suited to talk about how we entered adulthood, honestly, alone. Like, we really have just been, and not to say that we didn't have people that supported us along the way, but we really were just like dropped by ourselves at the ripe age of 21, 22. And it was like, you figure it out. So
I also think it's interesting that both of us had very similar upbringings, but mine was on the East Coast, yours was on the West Coast, very
yes.
similar family dynamics. And we wound up meeting each other in the Midwest and have like really the same relationship with our parents that we're so grateful for. But I think it's unique that we really are like very simpatico.
Very simpatico. And I feel like it also is interesting because since we met and started this journey, I feel like we have ended up in very different places.
Very different, and none of which the other would have expected the other would be in.
Yes, correct. Complete 180
Complete
situation.
180.
Yeah. So, yes, into the dimensions of wellness. So, basically, there are these 8 dimensions of wellness that are universally recognized.
But we check in on each other with, like, in a larger capacity, I would say.
Yes. So the dimensions are physical, social, professional, intellectual, spiritual, financial, environmental, and emotional.
Which is a lot, but I think if you like would like encompass your life, really, not even just your 20s, like those are all the things that like I think about or I'm planning for, or like those are all the things I think I need to be like checked on. Like I need someone to tell me that like maybe I don't need to go shopping every weekend or I don't need a new outfit every time I go out for sure. So I think those are all like areas that everyone has to check in on. So
and I think the beauty of Wellness Check and this podcast is gonna kind of take the idea that you don't necessarily need a wellness check on all 8 of these
oh gosh,
areas.
No. Really struggling if we would do that.
Yeah, and I think you from different like times in your life and even week by week, you're totally fine in some areas. You have no issues. And then in other areas you're like, "No, I need a wellness check in this area." Kind of like we were talking about where yeah, we are teachers and sometimes we're going to need a pretty hefty professional wellness check.
Mm-hmm.
But other weeks it's like, yeah, it's a day in the life. Our job is not really consuming our thoughts today.
Which is like pretty rare that it's not consuming our thoughts, but maybe not like the number one thing consuming our thoughts.
Yes, I think it also Yes.
Okay, good. Good.
So we have kind of decided that the way this is going to go is each of us every week are going to take two of the wellness spheres to kind of check in with ourselves about, and it's actually going to be a surprise to the other person which two areas we have picked. So there may be some crossover some weeks depending on how simpatico we are.
And I think it'll be interesting because a lot of times, like many areas of wellness, like blend into one. Like if you're talking about financial wellness, like we're gonna have to talk about professional
Mhm.
wellness as well. So I feel like you'll get a pretty good taste of what life is like and what I don't. I again, we need another word. It's not advice, just like our life. Like we're not like you don't need to live like us. We're not influencers. We're just two gals living our life.
I think it's not advice, it's cautionary tale, but would not in a
Yeah,
negative way. We need a positively connotated term for I just forgot the
for your life, I think.
yeah, we need a positively connotated word for cautionary tale. Like this is
Yes.
just what your life is going to look like, probably,
And
maybe.
like, is life like challenging and is it hard and is it crazy and is it what I expected? No to that, but yes to everything else. But like, would I really change anything about it? Like, absolutely not. Like, it is wonderful and beautiful and amazing in so many ways. So, I think sometimes you hear people kind of talk about one extreme or the other, and so I think we're hoping to kind of show that like middle ground is where most people are at. Middle ground is okay, and there's highs and lows with everything.
That was really beautiful. And I think that's why this time in our lives is very well suited to that because I think more or less, people might have curveballs as a high school or college student, but I feel like more or less you know what you're getting yourself into when you're in high school and college, and then your 20s happens, and that's when, you have no idea what's going to happen to you. But that's, as you said, kind of a beautiful thing because you can have experiences that you never thought you would.
Yeah, for sure. So I feel like we should get into it. Um, do you want to go first? Like, what's your wellness check today? What do you need to check in on?
Well, my first wellness check, which transparently is not a complete surprise to Maddie, is I need to check in on myself physically.
Because you're ill and you won't go to the doctor.
So I have been ill for today, actually. I know it may not completely sound like this. I still have a cough. Today's the first day that I can kind of breathe like a normal person. And I did get sick. Oh my gosh, was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, it
Yes,
was
it's been
literally
2 weeks.
2 weeks ago.
That's why I said you need to go to the doctor. You have
I'm at the 2 week mark. I am not great at taking care of myself. I'm good at taking care of myself physically when I don't get sick, but when I get sick, I think I kind of just enter the like tough it out mentality, and I feel like I have to be on my deathbed to actually fully rest. So I feel like 2 weekends ago, I did feel really horrible, and I feel like I gave myself a lot of time to rest. But then the Monday started, and I was like, "You know what? I don't feel bad enough to stay home from work." And then I just kind of kept going, and then I went on a trip, and now we're here. But I did take cold medicine for, like, 5 days at the beginning of this, which if you know
what
me.
medicine did you take?
Oh, it had everything in it. It had
Was
the
it Dayquil?
glufenicin, it had no, it was the Mucinex in a bottle. I could literally go and get the bottle. It had acetaminophen, it had it had
Because
everything.
for a while I was taking like Dayquil. Like when I would get sick, I would take Dayquil because it like comes in that very nice and convenient pack with the NyQuil. And like I would
Mhm.
like to be knocked out at night so I don't hear myself coughing. And one time I just couldn't get over this cold, and I was talking to my dad, as I do most days, and he told me like that only idiots take Dayquil because it doesn't actually really work, and they're just taking it to get the NyQuil, and that I shouldn't take it. So, do I still buy the combo pack? Yeah, it's so much cheaper, but I guess Dayquil like doesn't really work. From him, not a scientist nor a
Advice
pharmacist.
from John. I feel like that could be a segment in and of itself. Like,
Yeah, yeah, he's a special man.
yeah. Anyways, I so I did take the cold medicine, and I actually feel like it made me feel better a little bit faster because I think I slept better. But I feel like this is the danger of going down the what I affectionately call like the hippie wellness rabbit hole. Um, because I feel like it comes for us all, especially us gals, that it's like you just learn that everything around you and everything you've consuming has been toxic. And so then you overcorrect. And I feel like that happened to me when I was like 23. I was like, everything is terrible for me except like, I don't even know, like
Water.
vegetables, like water. But then even like water was bad for you if it wasn't filtered right. I don't know.
Which is actually funny coming from you.
I think that I'm getting to the point now where it's like I have maybe made some swaps that are good, but I also think that sometimes like you need to buy the product that has fragrance in it because otherwise it's not effective. You need to take the cold medicine. And this is dipping into the financial wellness sphere, which is not my place today. So I won't go too deep into this, but like, unless you have unlimited time and hundreds of thousands of dollars at your disposal, like, you can't uproot your whole life to go fully down the hippie wellness rabbit hole. So I appreciate it for what it is. Um,
And I think like this is another way where we differ, where like no part of me has ever even like sniffed nor been near a hippie wellness world, like ever. So I
and
love
I
that
kind of admire that.
it's never crossed my mind. I mean, I love a fruit, I love a vegetable, but like I'm not like taking Tylenol out of my um routine. So
I think the one thing that I am going to incorporate, which it's funny because I'm doing to my mom exactly what I get frustrated when she does to me, that she has told me every day for like the past year. She's like, you need to be taking a multivitamin. Like she takes a multivitamin. I took one growing up. My grandma takes it and is 91, and that's honestly why we like I think literally why she has lived this long is because she takes a multivitamin daily. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do it, not going to do it, whatever. And then when I went on this trip, I was complaining to my friend that I feel like I'm getting sick all the time, which part of it is if you work in a school, that's kind of just the game. But she was like, I felt like I got sick all the time in college. And then I started taking a daily multivitamin. And I was like, I'm going to take a multivitamin now. So, um,
I'm so proud of you.
that's my physical wellness check. I think that's all I have to say.
Thank you for sharing.
Maddie, what is your first sphere of wellness you're checking in for yourself?
I'm trying to think about which one I want to start with. Okay, I'm going to start with socially, my social wellness check, because
Amazing.
um as Teresa said, I am on summer break. I've been on summer break for 8 days now, which has been a beautiful and glorious and
So
wonderful.
jealous. So jealous.
Except for the fact that it's like raining like almost every day, which I'm not like super mad about because I do also like my TV time and I have a lot of laundry I could be folding, which is fine. But I do wish I could like get a good tan. But that's here nor there. My social wellness check is, I don't even know how do I bring this up, but I am going to a brunch tomorrow with some friends that I've known for a very long time, and they're all moving. So like this is like our final brunch. Which is really sad, and it's like they're a core part of my social like circle, I guess, here like where I live, and I am so happy for them on their journeys, and just don't know how to like proceed really without like these gals were my emergency contacts where I am. And they're just going onto different places. And I feel like that's like a huge part of your 20s is like no one knows what they're doing and no one knows where they're actually going to end up. And so everyone's just trying all these different places and different jobs and whatever, which means you have to say like hello and goodbye to a lot of people like simultaneously. And that's like transitions are not my friend. I'm not good at that. And kind of saying goodbye to these gals is kind of making me, I mean, it is really sad. Um and I'm just interested to see how my social circle kind of rebounds from this.
I feel like friendships in your 20s are very tenuous, especially if you are a transplant. Like Maddie is a transplant to where she lives, and you are. I think when you are a transplant, a lot of times you're also friends with transplants, but then that means that they do not have a strong hold to the place that they're in. Like I have a very close friend who actually has only lived here for a year. I recently met her and she also is moving. And I'm very sad about it. So is it like a goodbye brunch specifically or just a
Well,
casual thing?
so it's not necessarily goodbye. These are girls that were in my Bible study group. I guess now we're venturing onto spirituality or spiritual wellness.
And
They're all blended. I
all the
know.
spheres are blending together.
So these were girls that were in my Bible study group. And one of them, she started it. Well, they were all from my church, and so one of them started it. And we've kind of added people. People have moved over the past like 3 years. I've been in this group, and it's super casual. Like we always go out to dinner or go out to brunch, and then we like kind of do our little like lesson thing that we do, and it's usually lasts like 5 hours. It's so fun. And we'll also like go out together on the weekends and all of that. And so we kind of all had crazy springs and we're kind of just trying to like figure out what to do next. And most people are leaving, whether they're getting new jobs or they're graduating from like grad programs or things like that. So there really would be only two of us left. And so two of us are just joining another group, which will be fun and fine. I think it'll be very different. It's really like women of all ages, where this group was like really all like young 20 something girls, and all of us I think are transplants except for maybe one. But so the two of us will join a different one, but this is kind of like our last like Bible study that we're doing at a brunch, where I think I will see the two girls that are moving before they move, but this is kind of like our final Bible study, which was one of like the first like social things I really had when I moved here. So it's kind of crazy. I would like look forward to once a month this like 5 hour like brunch or dinner or whatever meet up with these girls until we like obviously got more comfortable with each other when we like do stuff outside of just this one week. So then it's almost like we're all like flying the nest. Like we're all kind of going our separate ways, but at a time like we were kind of like all each other had, which is beautiful and sad at the same time. So it's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I feel like it is hard because it's not just like you have a singular friend moving away. It's like the end of an era with the Bible study, but I also feel like it is really cool that it's like, okay, when you started with these girls, like that was your social foothold where you were, and now
Mm-hmm.
you have grown socially. And so it's
I
still
know.
sad though.
Yeah. So that's kind of where like I'm socially at. And I think like also socially, I'm like I've been thinking about that a lot. But I think with like summer, it's like, okay, wait, now like my day is not filled like all day with like teaching, where I would like literally go teach, like maybe go to the gym and like go to bed like every day. Um, so I'm like, oh, I have this free time. But then this morning I met a friend for coffee, I met a friend for lunch. I'm doing this now. I'm like, wait, I'm so booked and busy. So I think like also very planned person. I'm trying to just like socially go with the flow. Like if someone just wants to hang out, like last night a friend texted me at like 7:45, want to go get ice cream, and I said like, yeah, sure, just like trying to be more casual, and like I don't need to have my days planned like socially like all day every day, and that you can just chill and see where the wind takes you.
Especially with the flexibility, because like not that I'm always saying no to 7:45 ice cream on a school night, but 9
I
times out of
know.
10,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
saying no.
yeah. So it's like, oh wait, I don't have to wake up at 6 a.m. This is amazing.
Sold. The
Yeah.
beauty
So
of the
that's where I'm
summer.
at. But what's your next wellness check? What are we checking in next?
My next wellness check is a spiritual wellness check.
Whoa, okay.
So I feel like before I start this, I do have to clarify that in the same way that this is not a teacher podcast, this also is not a Christian Catholic girly podcast
No,
either.
it's not.
Um,
We love the Catholics, we love the church, but like again, we are more than just that.
yes, we are both Catholic, and so we will talk about it time from time, but I also don't think that either of us are qualified to be saying anything on behalf of the faith. Like,
No,
no.
we're not. We're not.
Do
Yeah.
not do not take our advice. Go listen to the Pope.
Yeah.
Ignore. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
um, but my spiritual check-in is that in the month of May, I have been trying to say a rosary every day because my prayer life is kind of a hot mess, but also what is a prayer life supposed to be anyways? So
agreed.
we ride with it. Um, but for the month of May, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try to commit to this and say a rosary every day. And I actually honestly have been struggling with it, but I learned something that I a lot of times, like, especially on the work day, I get to the end of the day and I'm exhausted and tired, and I'm like, oh, I haven't said my rosary yet. And then I am kind of dreading it. And I was like, well, I don't know, this is weird. Like, why am I dreading this? And then I realized I was like, I feel like it's similar to if you're trying, not that praying is the same thing as like hanging out with a pal, but it's like if you're trying to hang out with a pal at 9 p.m. when you're exhausted and tired from the day, like you're not going to be your best self anyways. So I think that was a good reminder to me, um that like maybe the late into the evening is like not the time where I'm going to have my best prayer time. When else am I going to? Unsure, but
Yeah, well, I think like even that you're making like an effort is good. Like I don't know if everything comes back to John, classic, my dad. But I don't know if he still does it. I think he just really sticks to the Hallow app, but there was a while where he would do the rosary every single morning. And he also in classic John fashion, like he would like reflect during his rosary on what his wordle start word should be. Uh
incredible. 10 out
yeah,
of 10.
during the rosary. I think he just reflects now during his hallow morning meditation, but there's something to be said about saying the rosary every day. I think that's like a beautiful way to start, but again, like also I almost see the rosary as almost like a little daunting. Like it's long and like not that I'm like am booked for time, but I think when you're starting your prayer life to jump to the rosary is sometimes a daunting task. Like even just like saying your nighttime prayers is sometimes just what you got to do.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there's a part of me that is like when I just feel like I'm all over the place, the structure is nice, but I
Yeah.
also think sometimes it's like, yeah, my mind is racing a million miles an hour, and so it is daunting to try to concentrate on something for that amount of time, even though like you said, relatively speaking, it's not a crazy amount of time, but
Like, do I listen to an hour long pop culture podcast every day? 1000%. Do I scroll on TikTok for almost an hour a day? 1000%. So do I have time? Yes. It's almost like a mental hurdle, like to get over
it's
through that.
absolutely a mental hurdle. I also think, again, we're just really getting into all the spheres of wellness here, that it's an environmental hurdle. Like,
Oh,
I
for sure.
think, and this is really me speaking boldly, but I think, like, let's say that I hypothetically lived in walking distance to a chapel. I think that that would radically change my prayer life. Whereas now I am essentially like 20 minutes away from the closest church that does any kind of like daily anything that I can go to.
Oh, that's hard.
So,
Well, I feel like summertime is also good for like starting new routines. So like maybe we start that routine or we can do it on our road trip,
yes, sponsored by the Hallow app. We're actually not sponsored, but
one day.
one day
Okay,
we
thanks
can
for sharing.
incorporate that into our road trip. Yeah, that's my spiritual wellness check. All right, what's your our final wellness check?
Okay, this I could kind of go several ways with this, but I want to do a financial wellness check for a few reasons. One, I just can't fathom because I booked a haircut appointment, like why haircuts are so expensive these days. Like
So expensive.
this is insane. And like I think hairstyle, like amazing job, like wish I could do it. Like they deserve the world, but like I, what? Like
Yes, that's why when I was in grad school, I cut my own hair. And like, do I regret it? No. It was not the same as a professional cut. Don't ever delude yourself into thinking that. But it's so expensive.
so expensive. And I'm also getting my hair highlighted tomorrow, which I'm a little bit nervous about, but I'd like to have it a little bit lighter for summer. And so obviously that's expensive too. And I really only highlight my hair like once a year and just go throughout the summer. So it's not like I do it all the time, but um I'm just like, whoa, that is going to be a hefty bill, but I'm doing that this weekend. So I am excited about that. My other financial wellness check is like a little bit of a funny story, but also I think a good wellness check. So where I live, a new sushi place opened right across the street from me. And this
Ooh.
sushi place, I went with some friends maybe 2 weeks ago, like right when it opened. It's beautiful. It's so fun. The sushi was so good. The drinks were good. The whole vibe, immaculate. And the sushi, especially, it was exactly what I wanted. I feel like so many times when I get sushi, it's not like exactly what you want. Like you kind of have to compromise. Like I love a Philadelphia roll, but I don't love salmon. Like not my favorite,
Mhm.
but I love like the cream cheese cucumber part of it. But this one had a roll that was like exactly what I wanted. So it was shrimp, cream cheese, cucumber, avocado with the sweet chili sauce. It was
Ooh.
amazing. So good. So I got that. Amazing. Great. I was planning on getting sushi tonight for dinner. And I was like, okay, well, I'm obviously going to the place right across the street. I can just walk over and get it. So they're like newer. And so they didn't have like an online ordering thing. So I called and they were like, no, we're not doing takeout. And I said, oh, are you not doing like takeout just because like you guys are new or are you not doing it at all? And they're like, no, we're just not going to do it at all. Like our sushi tastes like better when you eat it here. Obviously, I understand that's true.
Mhm.
I'm not going to the sushi restaurant by myself. And so I was like, oh, okay, like I was gonna place a takeout order, but like no worries. And she's like, well, you could come in and order and just wait for it here. Like I'm gonna go sit in the restaurant and wait for my sushi and then walk across the street to eat it because I'm not by myself.
But then you could take it home after that. Isn't that just takeout?
I'm so confused. Exactly. Like, were you gonna give me a box or were you gonna make me take it on a plate or should I bring my own? So you're wondering why, how does this loop back into financial
I kind of am actually.
well, I think it's probably for the I think it's like I mean, pop off to them. I hope that situation works out for them. But I probably am going to save a lot of money now that I can't just like walk across the street and get myself some sushi.
Sometimes the world does force your hand.
Yeah, it's like wow, you got the perfect sushi roll. Now you need to like make plans and make a reservation and like go with friends. Like you can't just get takeout. So I think that's like a little bit of a nod to like some financial strength, some may say. But
Oh,
not
for
really like
sure.
strength. Like it was just more like put in my lap that like you can't order takeout. So
Until someone takes us up on our business idea, which is Subway for sushi.
yes, which is an amazing idea because like I think many others, like you want exactly what you want in your sushi and sometimes you that's not on the menu. And like I think you should just be able to order exactly what you want in the roll. Like you can only pick say three things. I
Which,
don't
as you pointed out, one, all the rolls get made fresh, so it's not like they're sitting there pre-batched. And second of all, when you order a roll, most of the time, you get the whole roll. Like they cut it up for you,
yes.
but it's not like they're making six at a time. So it really feels like this is anyone that wants to support our business venture.
Yeah. Like I said, best sushi. And we'll just have to, I guess, make some plans to go get it. So, Teresa, I think you should come visit so we can go get some sushi.
I do love sushi. And where you live should not have as good a sushi as it does.
But it does.
It does. Can attest, have had.
Yeah, you have had it. So that's my wellness check on some financial things for me. But yeah, that was our first kind of wellness check. How do you feel?
Oh my gosh, I feel so much lighter and just well. We
You
we
feel
did our
well?
wellness check. I feel
Like you
well.
feel like we checked in?
Yes.
Okay, me too.
So, are we gonna wrap up a little bit with our 30-second hyperfixations?
Yeah. I think another thing that we've experienced in our 20s is like hyperfixations and just like routines that last like 2 days and like you have it all perfect and then you just kind of fall off, or like I eat the same dinner for the entire week because I'm so hyperfixated on it. But then it just totally falls off. And I think that's just like a way that we're all like figuring out our lives. It's just like extreme fixation, nothing in moderation, obviously. So
Obviously.
we wanted to have a segment called our 30-second hyperfixations. And it could really be anything that you're hyperfixated on at the moment, whether it's pop culture, whether it's food, whether it's sports, whether it's a clothing item. I think we're just going to kind of go for it. So, Teresa, should I time you?
Yes. So I have 30 seconds to talk about this,
You have 30
which
seconds.
sometimes is going to be a struggle. I think I can do it today.
You think you can do it today? Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, go.
Okay, my hyperfixation is hyaluronic acid. I live in the desert, and so my skin was really dry. And finally, I was like, you know what? I'm just buying straight hyaluronic acid serum. I actually have it literally sitting right next to me, the Good Molecules
Oh, I have
brand.
that, yeah.
And I put it on my face twice a day, and it has changed the game on my face, but really, and honestly got rid of acne that I thought was hormonal acne. But I also was having some
30
long,
seconds.
that's 30 seconds?
Yeah, that was 30 seconds.
That goes by so fast.
I know.
I feel like
know.
I'm done. I feel like it's a hard cutoff.
Okay, I feel like it's a hard cutoff too.
It's a hard cutoff.
Hyaluronic acid. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be a mystery then what else I use it for. Just it's changed the game is all everyone needs to know.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready for mine.
All right, ready, go.
My hyperfixation this week in particularly is public libraries. My city just opened a new library, and I seriously have gone 3 times this week. It's been amazing. I've been rediscovering the library, all the events that it has. This library in particular has like a technology-ish, like a maker space.
Mhm.
So you can check out like an embroidery machine or a sewing machine or a Cricut and do all these crafts. So I have big plans, big ideas, and I'm just like absolutely obsessed with the library. Did I make it?
That was 30 seconds. That was incredible.
That's incredible.
And as an English teacher, it took everything in me to not interrupt and say that I love public libraries. Where I live, the public libraries are so underfunded, and it makes me really sad.
Yeah, so Teresa, come visit me and get sushi and go to the library.
I think, and we'll film a podcast episode based on the library and sushi.
Because the library here has a podcast studio. We could rent it out.
Amazing. I'm sold. Booking my flight now. So, our final. Maddie, what are you reminding yourself of this week?
Okay, I'm reminding myself of actually it's kind of like a twofold because
Amazing.
I saw this TikTok and it's kind of like a spoof. I need to send it to you, but I like didn't. And it's a girl sitting on the beach, and I need to read exactly what it says so I make sure I say it correctly. So she's sitting on the beach and she says, "It only took me 180 school days, but I finally remembered my why." And it's her, which, like, you know how like teachers are always like, "You remember your why? Why do you do this?" And it's like, obviously our why is summer. That has always been my why. I've always been like upfront about that. It's like I love summer. So I was just like, oh my gosh, like so true. Like I love summer. And in that same note, I have been trying to remind myself that rest is productive. Like I said, I've, had a week off. It's been lovely and wonderful, but so many times I'm like, I need to be opening up my laptop. I need to be doing stuff. I need to be creating a lesson plan. I need to be doing this. And just because I'm not doing that doesn't mean I'm not being productive. Like our job is hard. Our job is difficult, but our job is also 9 or 10 months out of the year. And there is summer for a reason, not just for kids, but for teachers too. And that like my rest is imperative to my success in my job. So
that's 1000% true. Like I think teachers are better teachers because we have a summer break.
For sure. For sure. So what are you reminding yourself of?
Mine is not that different than yours, but I am reminding myself that life, you go through seasons of things in life. And I feel like right now I'm in the opposite of where you are, where I am in like the end of school trenches. And I just feel like I'm very burnt out. All I want to do is come home and scroll reels until I like can't think anymore. And I feel like normally I could get discouraged about that and really down on myself, but I'm like, you know what? I only have a week of this left. And after a week, I'm going on a trip right after school. Like, naturally, I am going to snap myself out of this. And I know that about myself. And I feel like sometimes it's better to just embrace the hard season that you're in rather than trying to like guilt yourself out of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love this quote. I have always loved like inspirational quotes, and so is my dad. My mom is always like, "Oh my gosh, they're so cheesy, inspirational quotes." But I would like always have them on my wall. And I had this one when I was in college, and it said like the best view comes after the hardest climb. And like in college, you're like thinking about like, oh, just like schoolwork and whatever. And it's like now, no, I'm thinking about summer. Like the best view,
Yes.
like this is like you climbed like a really hard mountain. Like there is an incredible view coming, and that is called summer break.
Yeah, you got a whole bunch of children through an entire grade of school.
Yeah. So, well, on that note, thank you so much for listening to our first episode of Wellness Check. We hope you stay. We hope you come back. So hydrate, text your friends back, and we'll see you soon.
Bye.